My name is Myron Keehn. I'm honored to be the president and CEO of Edmonton International Airport, YEG, as well as Villeneuve Airport, ZVL. Yeah, great question. From a hydrogen perspective, I mean, airports are good ecosystems because a lot of the equipment stays at the airport itself. Unlike in other forms of transportation, where vehicles have to move long distances and they have to then put an ecosystem infrastructure around a province or around a city, being at the airport allows you to experiment with things and introduce things that are being tried in other places, but don't have the ability to launch within our markets. So an example for us is we converted a bunch of our fleet over to hydrogen vehicles. We partnered with Toyota, and we partnered on hydrogen Toyota Mirais, which we have here, not only at the airport, but the city has some, the province has some, other municipalities have some, and because they stay at or near the airport. We've also introduced with Hyundai Nexo, the world's first, at that time it's not anymore, runway inspection vehicle run off hydrogen, a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. We also partner with technology coming out of University of Alberta and private industry on different technologies that run dual fuel hydrogen and diesel in the same engine. And so we've converted the world's first runway sweeper to run dual fuel hydrogen and diesel in the same engine and ran it this last winter. We're in the process of converting a second one. And then in 2026 winter to 27, we're going to convert another of the world's first running both dual fuel hydrogen and diesel. So with the ecosystem being contained, you can actually experiment working with partners. Those partners include companies like DTI, Diesel Technologies Inc., IFS, Innovative Fuel Systems, Toyota, Hyundai, Mitsui, and others on trying to create that ecosystem for hydrogen adoption. And the airport can be that leader to do it. And we believe that airports are perfectly suited for it. And particularly our airport, given the amount of hydrogen being produced already in the region, and the tens of billions of dollars being invested in hydrogen infrastructure as we speak. Yeah, great question. I mean, the beginning of anything is the most difficult. So when you start something new, it's like when the first flat screen TVs came out there, how much did they cost compared to what they are today? And you couldn't get them and no one knew how to build them. And over time, technology evolves. You've seen that with the introduction of any type of technology. TV is not the best analogy, but any type of new technology, electric vehicles, for example, being one of them. And so for us, utilizing the ground equipment fleet as a way to introduce hydrogen, to then work with H2 Can Fly and on our sustainability council, then introduce into flight is kind of the next step. And so for us, a couple of things that we think about is what is the regulatory pathway, a regulatory framework for this to occur, because it's never been done before in our market. And so really appreciative of what Transport Canada has done on the federal government side, Environment Canada has done, the ECCC has done, as well as our province of Alberta has done and our host municipality, Leduc County, have done to help write the code and permitting for this. That's never happened before. When this technology is new. So I think the biggest challenges of one is make sure the regulatory frameworks can keep pace with the change that's coming is critical. And the second is just the ability to introduce hydrogen large scale. It's like a chicken and egg. When anything new comes in, it's really expensive at the beginning. Over time, the costs come down. And we've seen that repetitively in every type of new technology that gets introduced. And so what's the right government framework and industry participation to drive the adoption of hydrogen? And so we really believe in our case that it's not only in vehicles, it's not only in potential to blend for heating and cooling using natural gas, but it's also into aviation for flying. You're starting to see that across Canada and around the world today. It's not going to be long haul flights, that's quite a ways away, but on a short haul, ability to use dual fuels, I think is going to be there. And it may be one engine running on hydrogen, one running on regular jet fuel, but the ability to start to do that. And hydrogen is a key element in a lot of cases on how to make sustainable aviation fuel. And so that's another pathway to help decarbonize the aviation industry. Holistically, the aviation industry are hard to decarbonize. And so it's not an either or, it's an and. It'll be electric short haul, and it'll be hydrogen, and it'll be sustainable aviation fuel, and it'll be ground equipment run on hydrogen and electricity to help decarbonize the entire industry. Yeah, I think if I can think of one, and there are multiple, so I'm not trying to discount anyone, but one that I've been learning a lot about is what the UK has done. In some cases, not everything's worked, and that's okay. Like anything, innovation is about failing and learning and moving forward. But if you look at the overall cluster adoption and creating hydrogen hubs, That's what Edmonton has learned from. It's not just there, but it's other places in the Middle East, in Japan, for example, in Korea. But following that hub model to help spread the risk and have more people adopt, I think is critical. And I think that's one of the areas that Canada can learn from and adapt to. And you have to have a combination of carrots to entice people to adopt, and then regulation that helps them change their current operations and adopt. So not one is going to work on its own. It's a combination thereof, and doing that in concert with business and industry is really important. So it's being adopted together, not independent of each other, because that's when you get a lot of people working at cross purposes, I think. So I think that's one of the things that Canada is and can do, and Alberta as well is and can do. And there's still lots of opportunity to grow. This isn't like the beginning of any type of new industry. It takes time to be adopted, but over time, when I introduce it to people and they see it for the first time, they're like, it's mind-boggling to them. And then you take it down. My best time is driving the hydrogen car and having people come by me and side me and give you a thumbs up and then pull you over to light. And how does it work? Open it up. Show me. This is brilliant. Why can't we do this? So it's like, I think consumer willingness is there to adopt it. It's just that we have to make sure that the technology is available and the pricing is right to have people actually adopt and use the technology. But what I'm really excited about with the Canadian Hydrogen Convention here at Edmonton is just the global interest in hydrogen adoption. And while we may see in different jurisdictions the heating and cooling off over periods of time towards hydrogen, a lot of places in the world have already gone that way. It's the only way they're going to actually be able to power their economies in the long term. And so the ability to use hydrogen in different ways, and I've seen it in different countries on different continents, and being able to get together with those colleagues from across the globe that are interested in this space, not only what's possible today, but what the art of the possible is tomorrow, I think is really inspiring. And to learn from what we can do and what we can experiment and participate in. And it really all started with the Canadian Hydrogen Convention to get the region to come together on hydrogen. And so the impacts I've seen here, whether it be some of the world's first things being done here in hydrogen adoption, sustainability is something that, like safety, we won't compete on in the medium and long term. It's a bit of a competitive landscape at the beginning. At the end of the day, it's, in my opinion, it's not just mine, but others of experts, this is like safety. Everyone should work together to make it a better place. Hydrogen won't work everywhere, but there's places it does work. And so how do we help learn from each other? And then how we drive the adoption of hydrogen globally. That's what I most look forward to, is that camaraderie and meeting together partners that are looking to do the same thing in different jurisdictions. And we learn a lot from each other.